One housekeeper revealed an incredible, life-changing secret that saved a millionaire's son. Anna had always believed in the power of hope. At 36, her life revolved around her son, Jacob, and her job as a housekeeper in the affluent suburbs of Chicago. Every early morning she slipped into her worn shoes, the same ones that had tread the dusty roads of her small farming town in Illinois. The irony of her life spending days in opulence yet unable to afford college for Jacob wasn't lost on her. When she arrived at the stately Thompson residence, she knew she was stepping into another world, one filled with silver spoons and high expectations, where the Thompsons' only son, Luke, was drowning in his own private storm. Luke was just 17 but felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. In a house filled with luxuries, he battled demons that consumed him: addiction, depression clinging to expectations that suffocated him. The arguments between his parents echoed in the hallways, but Anna caught the more tender moments, too. She noticed the faraway look in Luke's eyes during breakfast, how he stared blankly at the pancakes piled high on his plate. At first, she stood at a distance, the divide of class too immense to cross. But an invisible thread began to weave them together, pulling Anna into Luke's struggles. Between dusting the ornate chandeliers and mopping the marble floors, Anna began to share pieces of her life, her voice a comforting whisper amidst the chaos. A story of loss, resilience, and the unconditional love she held for Jacob. Luke listened, his heart softening. He opened up to her, revealing his fears, his inadequacies. The bond blossomed in quiet moments between chores, a bond that felt as fragile as the edges of a sunflower's petals, yet held the promise of change, but the tipping point was yet to come. One fateful night, Luke spiraled out of control, succumbing to the very addiction that threatened his existence. Anna found him, pale and unresponsive, panic flooding her veins. She rushed him to the hospital, tears blurring her vision. In the sterile hospital room, reality closed in. She recounted the heart-wrenching loss of her own brother, a vivid tragedy that had ignited her journey toward strength. "You have to fight, Luke. You have to want more." Her voice trembled, filled with tight-chested conviction, hoping against hope that her words would reach him. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Anna's story poured forth, illuminating the darkness surrounding Luke, the emotional tide shifted. He started to confront the shadows of his upbringing, the tumultuous echo of arguments, and the suffocating weight of privilege. Yet, tensions ran high, and the Thompsons remained oblivious to the depth of their son's struggles. When they discovered Anna's influence over Luke, anger erupted, accusing her of meddling. The line between class and compassion blurred, igniting a clash that neither family expected to navigate. In this turmoil, Jacob quietly observed it all, his young heart aching for justice for his mother and Luke. They were all caught in a storm of misunderstanding, but as the stakes climbed, the question remained alive: could a humble housekeeper's love truly save a broken boy? Would their lives ever find the common ground needed to heal? The intensity of transformation hung in the air, leaving readers craving the next chapter in their intertwined tales. The hospital's fluorescent lights buzzed, washing everything in a sterile glow that felt cold and unwelcoming. Anna sat in the waiting room, hands clenched, her heart racing at the thought of Luke's uncertain fate. She scanned the room for familiar faces, suddenly aware of how alone she felt among the crowd of parents and children, nurses rushing about, and doctors with serious expressions. Jacob was beside her, eyes failing to hide the worry etched on his young face. He wasn't just there for Luke, he was a tiny warrior ready to battle the overwhelming quiet that suffocated the moment. "Mom, do you think he's going to be okay?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Every word felt heavy with worry. Anna wanted to tell him everything would be fine, but she didn't have that assurance. Instead, she wrapped her arms around him, pulling him close. We just have to believe, sweetheart. Hope is powerful, she replied, though the tremor in her voice betrayed her uncertainty. Their wait felt like an eternity, with nothing to occupy their minds but questions. How did it come to this? Why hadn't Luke's parents noticed the darkness creeping in? Those invisible barriers separating them were relentless. Yet, here they were, united by their concern for a boy both worlds deemed so very different. After what felt like hours, a doctor emerged, his expression serious. Anxiety gripped Anna's heart. Mrs. Thompson, he addressed her, and she sensed the unsteady breath she held dissolve into the air. Your son is stable now, but it will be a long road. Anna felt her heart surge with relief, but fear nagged at her. What would that long road entail? With the Thompsons angry and confused, her role in Luke's recovery felt precarious. She glanced at Jacob, who looked up expectantly, and then back at the doctor. Those words bore the weight of their intertwined futures, but Anna was determined to push through. As they were ushered into Luke's room, Anna's heart ached to see him lying there, almost ghostly pale. She took Jacob's hand, feeling the strength in his small fingers. You can do this, Luke, she murmured, as if he could hear her from the depths of unconsciousness. You have to fight. Days morphed into a routine. Anna took shifts sitting by Luke's bedside, sometimes holding his hand, even singing to him softly songs that her mother used to hum. She refused to let the spark of hope die. Meanwhile, Jacob wrote letters to Luke, sharing stories from school, dreams about the future, and simple joys that always brought a smile. But not everything was tranquil. The Thompsons remained distant, casting accusing glances in Anna's direction during family visits. Why are you even here? They were harsh, their words laden with bitterness. The thought of being seen as the source of their son's problems twisted in her gut. It felt like another barrier, another wound in a world where compassion should conquer wealth. Yet Jake looked on with resolute understanding, a quiet ally who refused to abide by the boundaries of status. One night, as they exited the hospital, Jacob turned to Anna with a gleam in his eyes. Maybe Luke needs you more than ever, Mom. You're his light. Anna's heart swelled with love. How wise he was, so young yet so perceptive. Could their bond become the bridge to healing, even against powerful odds? Would the Thompsons ever recognize it? As she headed home that evening, doubt still flickered inside her like a candle fighting the winds. But hope, that stubborn, beautiful feeling, clung tenaciously. Tomorrow, she thought. Tomorrow might hold something different. Behind her, in the shadows of the hospital, stakes were rising. A sudden confrontation awaited her, a confrontation that could either help bridge their worlds or destroy the fragile connections she fought so hard to build. As the door to their future cracked open, Anna steeled herself for a storm that was gathering. Would she have the strength to face it? Could she protect her son, Luke, and build a new family from the ashes of misunderstanding? The crossroads were coming, and Anna could feel it in the air, lifting the hair on the back of her neck. All she could do was take a deep breath and step forward. The next morning dawned with a heavy sky, as if nature itself was holding its breath for what lay ahead. Anna could sense the tension wrapping around her like a thick coat as she made her way to the hospital. Jacob clutched her hand tightly, both of them drawing warmth from each other. The familiar sterile smell hit her as they crossed through the sliding doors. It felt like stepping into a different world, one that demanded resilience and hope. Just moments into their journey, they were met with the same chilly reception from the Thompsons. Mr. Thompson was waiting by the lift, his expression hard as stone. What are you doing here? He spat, the words sharp enough to slice through the morning fog. Anna felt her chest tighten. Words caught in her throat, but she lifted her chin. Luke needs us. He needs love, and understanding. Mr. Thompson shook his head in disbelief, disdain etched into his features. You're delusional. You think your presence will help? You've caused enough trouble. Jacob pulled at Anna's sleeve. Dad, can't you see? We care about Luke. Mom's trying to be here for him. For a fleeting moment, Anna saw a flicker of uncertainty cross Mr. Thompson's face, but it vanished just as quickly. They were dismissed with a cold wave of his hand. For the moment, Anna couldn't challenge that harsh judgment, but the weight of his words hung heavy over her heart. As they entered Luke's room, the rhythmic beeping of machines filled the silence. His condition was stable, but there was no real change. Every day felt like a march through mud, slow and draining. Jacob settled in the chair beside Luke, pulling out another letter from his backpack, scribbling furiously with a crayon. Anna watched him, both proud and pained. Each letter was like a lifebuoy thrown into turbulent waters. "Hey, Luke," Jacob began softly, as he recited the words he'd written. "Today, we learned about space. Did you know there are planets made out of gas? I wish I could visit one with you. It would be so cool." Anna choked back tears as she listened. Jacob's innocent belief felt like fresh air in a stuffy room, lifting the somber atmosphere around them. She moved closer, resting her hand on Luke's. "You hear him, don't you, buddy? You need to wake up." Just then, the door creaked open, revealing a new face. An older woman, dressed in scrubs with a bright smile that could crack through concrete. "I'm sorry to interrupt," she said, a warmth radiating from her. "I'm Maria, the head nurse. How's our little guy doing today?" "He's stable," Anna replied, her tone almost defensive, protective of her vigil. "But I understand. You're worried. It's hard to watch someone you love suffer," Maria responded, her voice gentle but firm. "But I have a feeling about Luke. Trust me, he has the strength to pull through." The nurse's confidence sparked a flicker of hope. "He's a fighter, just like his brother," Maria added, glancing at Jacob. Anna was about to respond when a sudden commotion in the hallway drew their attention. Faint, urgent voices echoed back and forth, and before she could register it, the door swung open again, jarring the moment. Anna barely had time to process the intense exchange when she caught sight of the Thompsons' faces. They charged into the room, Mr. Thompson's gaze fierce. "Where is that boy? I want answers." The urgency in his tone sent chills darting down Anna's spine. For a brief moment, Anna's past and present collided. This confrontation wasn't just about Luke anymore, it was a cultural clash, a war of privilege versus compassion. "Please, just listen," Anna pleaded, stepping forward, desperate to shield her son from the mounting tension. But before she could finish her thought, Maria spoke up, her voice steady. "I believe I can help." It was a simple phrase, yet it pulsed with promise. Would Maria's insight be the breakthrough they all needed? As Anna met Maria's unwavering gaze, hope wrestled with uncertainty. Would today lead them closer to the truth? Anna felt the ground beneath her shift. The moment hung in the air like a charged balloon, ready to pop. What revelation awaited them that could change everything? Anna stood at the precipice of a storm, her heart racing as Maria's confident demeanor filled the room. It felt as though the air thickened, vibrating with unspoken possibilities. She glanced at Jacob, who looked on with wide eyes, absorbing every word. Mr. Thompson's fury had momentarily held the room hostage, but at the nurse's entrance, something shifted. The tension slowly unraveled, thread by thread, as Maria took action. "Mr. Thompson," she began, her voice commanding yet compassionate, "your son is in good hands. I need everyone to focus on him, to believe in his strength. This is a time for support and love." Mr. Thompson huffed, his anger simmering as he crossed his arms tightly. "What could you possibly know about what my son needs?" "More than you think," Maria replied, lifting her chin defiantly. "I've been in this situation many times, and I can assure you, the human spirit is incredibly resilient. I've seen miracles happen where hope persists." Suddenly, the machines around Luke began to beat more rapidly, and Anna felt her heart leap. "What is happening?" she cried out, stepping closer to the bed. "Let us stay calm. It's likely just a response to the emotions in the room, Maria said, maintaining her poise as she approached the monitors. But we need to keep the energy here positive. Anna marveled at Maria's bravado, admiring how she seamlessly commanded the space. Feeling even more anchored, Anna turned back to Luke, her voice shaking. You hear that? Everyone in this room is here for you. We believe in you, Luke. Don't you dare give up on us. Jacob passed his little brother a crayon and a piece of paper. His eyes brightened as he grinned. You're supposed to come back and go on adventures with me, he exclaimed, his voice joyful and innocent. Like the astronaut who walks on Mars. Wouldn't that be cool? The contrast between Jacob's youthful exuberance and the gravity of the moment lit a spark of warmth in Anna. Around them, the air began to shift again, the tension ebbing like a receding tide, even in the face of the Thompsons' reservoir of despair. Mr. Thompson, for the first time, glanced at Jacob, his expression morphing into something less hostile, almost softening. He started, but the words didn't come out. People connect in unexpected ways, Maria prompted gently, guiding the hesitant conversation. It's not just about blood, it's about the bonds we nurture. Maybe there's still a chance. Just then, a high-pitched alarm blared from the monitor, cutting through the fragile hope that had started to build. Anna's heart dropped as panic washed over her. Please, everyone back. Maria shouted, moving into action as the sound intensified. We need to check on Luke. Jacob latched onto Anna's hand, his little fingers trembling. Mom, I'm scared. His voice broke, mingling with the sterile chaos around them. Stay strong, Jacob. Remember what I told you about courage? Anna squeezed his hand, trying to instill a sense of safety in the midst of panic. As Maria rushed to the bedside, Anna felt a whirlwind of emotions: fear, anger, and a flicker of hope fighting for dominance. The Thompsons stood frozen, their anguish now palpable, and the entire room seemed to hold its breath. In that crucial moment, Anna sensed something shift within her. Maybe today was not just about finding answers but about embracing vulnerability and connection. Their fates were entwined more than ever, and just as a hush fell over the room, something shifted in Luke. Could it be that he was mirroring the raw emotion that hung in the air? Was he about to break free from the shadows of unconsciousness? But as Anna leaned closer, ready to witness the unimaginable, the monitor spiked violently once more. What would this moment reveal? Would Luke regain consciousness and alter the fragile dynamics held in that room? The room exploded into chaos as the alarm screeched its warning. Anna's heart pounded in unison with the frantic beeping as Maria barked commands, her voice steady and clear despite the panic swirling around them. Every instinct screamed for action, but Anna felt rooted to the spot, fear pinching her heart. Get the crash cart! Maria shouted, her tone slicing through the noise. The staff reacted with practiced speed, as Anna's mind raced, trying to comprehend the unfolding reality. Luke was still fighting, but would it be enough? Mom! Jacob squeezed her hand tighter, his little knuckles going white. I'm here, Jacob. I'm right here, Anna managed to say, though the words felt brittle. For a fleeting moment, Anna's gaze collided with Mr. Thompson's. His eyes, usually filled with anger, now glistened with desperation. She could see a flicker of regret mirrored in his expression, as if he was finally grasping the enormity of the moment. Please, just wake up, Luke. Mr. Thompson's voice cracked, drawing everyone's attention back to the bed where the machines blared their harsh urgency. Stay focused, people. We can do this. Maria commanded, her presence a fortress against the storm. Suddenly, the chaotic noise shifted, beeps smoothed into a rhythmic pulse. The frantic energy in the room felt less frantic, more measured. Anna dared to hope as Maria leaned over Luke, gently placing her hands on his shoulders. Come on, buddy. We need you back with us, she urged softly, her voice firm yet tender. Anna's breath hitched as she witnessed the scene unfold. Maria was not just a nurse, she was a lifeline, working to pull Luke back from an edge that felt impossibly far. Minutes felt like hours, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on them. The Thompsons and Anna stood together, waiting as the monitors settled, the ringing in their ears subsiding. Finally, Maria's gaze flickered back to them, her expression unreadable for a heartbeat. Then, without warning, Luke's eyelids fluttered. "Luke," Anna whispered, the sound escaping before she even realized it. The world around them disappeared as they watched for any sign of response. A voice deep inside Anna whispered prayers of thanks. "Keep talking to him, Jacob." "But I don't know what to say," he squeaked, eyes wide with fear. "Just tell him about the astronaut. Remember what you said?" Anna encouraged, her body now ablaze with hope. "Yeah." Jacob's voice rang bright, resonating with the innocence of a child refusing to surrender to darkness. "Luke, I really want to go to space with you. There are crazy aliens and lots of stars. You gotta get better so we can go." The room grew quiet, every ear straining to hear the little boy's earnest words. And then an almost imperceptible flicker in Luke's fingers. It was enough. It ignited everyone around them, a quiet gasp filling the air like a spark set to flames. Anna felt a flood of tears welling up, not of despair but from the sheer weight of relief. "That's it, Luke. We're here." Slowly, dramatic breaths filled Luke's chest. It was tentative but real. His heart was fighting to return from somewhere deep, a spark that had felt extinguished was igniting again. Anna could hardly believe her own eyes. Yet just as the flicker of hope grew stronger, a different voice spoke up, cutting through the moment with bitter urgency. "Anna." Mr. Thompson's voice roared, pulling Anna from her focus. She turned to find him pale, his face twisted with realization. "The boy, he can't just wake up. We need to think about what's coming." A hush fell over the room. The newfound hope wavered, replaced by an unsettling anxiety. Was waking Luke really the end of their journey, or were they about to face a new, terrifying truth together? The air crackled with tension as Mr. Thompson's words hung heavy in the room. Anna's heart sank, her joy momentarily eclipsed by the harsh reality lurking just beneath the surface. Jacob's small hand continued to grip hers, the warmth of his tiny fingers grounding her. "Mr. Thompson, what do you mean?" Anna asked, her voice unwavering despite the rush of nerves, his face twisted with anguish. "What's coming?" "The doctors said, they said he might not be the same if he comes back. We have to be ready for that." The realization hit Anna like a cold wave. "What do you mean not the same?" "Brain damage, Anna. When he flatlined we were losing him." He stepped closer, his eyes burning with a mix of desperation and fear. "He might wake up physically, but emotionally? He might not even recognize us." She felt Jacob tremble beside her, his innocence shattering in the face of such stark uncertainty. "No, that can't happen. He has to be okay." Anna's voice wavered, tinged with disbelief. Maria moved back toward Luke, eyes darting between the monitors as if seeking answers from the beeping machines. "We'll cross that bridge when we get there," she said, her tone edged with determination, but even she looked worried. Then, almost like a wave rebounding against the shore, something shifted in the room. Luke's eyelids fluttered, and with each flutter, a tentative hope began to rise again. Could he hear them? Could he truly come back to them? "Luke, buddy," Anna said, her voice trembling with urgency. "We're right here. You have to fight. We can face anything together. Keep fighting." Jacob leaned forward, his small face lit with hope. "You promised to take me to space. Remember, Luke? We have to see those aliens." Seconds ticked by, and slowly, Luke's eyes opened. They were bloodshot and unfocused, glancing around the room as if trying to make sense of where he was. Anna's heart swelled, her resolve strengthening. "He's here," she exclaimed, the rush of love almost spilling over, but Mr. Thompson stepped closer, his voice a whisper, a plea. "We need to prepare for the worst, Anna. You have to understand, if he wakes up and doesn't recognize us, stop. Anna snapped, turning sharply to him. We need to focus on the now. Let us not waste this chance. Every fiber of her being ached to believe in hope, in miracles, in the possibility of healing. The tension in the room felt electric, charged with raw emotion. Suddenly, Luke turned his head, his gaze landing directly on Jacob. There was a shift, a spark of recognition. Then, his lips moved, forming a weak, but evident smile. Jacoby. Luke whispered, his voice frail, yet the sound pulled joy from deeper places than Anna thought possible. Yes. It's me. It's Jacob. The boy squealed, unable to contain his excitement. You're back. You have to listen to all the cool space stories I made up. Tears streamed down Anna's face as she took a step closer. Hope had not just returned, it was roaring like a fire, igniting the hearts that had faltered. But as Luke's gaze shifted and met Anna's, she saw something there, familiar yet distant, as if a veil lay over their connection. Mom? Luke asked, his voice shaky. It wasn't just a question. It was a hook that sent a ripple through her heart. Was he truly back, or were they standing at the edge of something she couldn't yet comprehend? Anna's heart raced. I'm right here, baby. Always. As the adrenaline of hope surged, the thought of what lay ahead gripped her. They had crossed one bridge, but what would they find on the other side? Before she could voice her thoughts, the monitors began to beep erratically again, tossing them back into that stormy uncertainty. Get the crash cart. He's coding again. Maria shouted, the urgency echoing off the walls and sending a shock through Anna's core. Would they lose him once more? Would they ever truly know what it meant to have Luke back in their lives? The fight was far from over, and the truth was now a fragile thread they all had to grasp tightly. As chaos erupted once more, Anna felt a swell of determination rise within her. Would they be able to hold on to hope, or was it time for a deeper reckoning? The room erupted in frenzied shouts and the sound of pounding footsteps. Medical staff rushed in, urgency crackling in the air like static electricity. Anna's heart raced as her eyes frantically sought out Luke. She pushed through the growing crowd, fighting the instinct to scream, to demand answers. Stay back. A nurse shouted, but Anna didn't care. She couldn't just stand by. Luke. She called, her voice trembling, breaking against the wall of noise. A teammate wrestled with the crash cart, and Anna caught sight of Jacob, his small frame frozen in place, wide eyes reflecting pure terror. She knelt beside him, grasping his little shoulders. Look at me, Jacob, she said, forcing an air of calm she didn't feel. It's going to be okay. Your brother is so strong. He's going to fight for us. Jacob nodded, his lip quivering, but his faith flickered weakly. What if he doesn't, Mommy? Tears threatened to overflow, but Anna swallowed them down. He will. He has to. As the medical team took over, Luke's body became obscured behind a curtain of hurried hands and machinery. The rhythmic beeping of the monitors felt like a countdown, each beep sending ripples of dread through Anna's chest. Yet, buried beneath it all was a spark of fierce desire to believe. Don't leave me, Luke. She whispered to herself, gripping Jacob tighter. Moments stretched into a lifetime, ticking by like molasses as the team worked feverishly. Anna felt a presence hover beside her, and when she looked up, it was Maria, her face pale but determined. Anna, listen, Maria said, lowering her voice. There is something I need to tell you. It's about Luke. There may be a chance. What are you talking about? Anna's heart latched onto hope, gripping it as if it were a lifeline. There's a treatment, Maria continued, looking over her shoulder nervously. It's experimental, and it might. Is it safe? Anna interrupted, her thoughts racing. What if it doesn't work? What if we lose him? Every medical procedure carries risks, but Luke is already in this situation. I can't put him through more. Anna cut in, a tidal wave of fear rising. If there's even the slightest chance of him coming back to us, we have to consider it, Maria implored. We can't just resign ourselves to enough. Anna snapped, anger surging. The chaos, the fears, everything boiled over. I can't. I just want my son back. The statement hung in the air, heavy with grief and longing. Jacob reached for her, small fingers brushing her cheek. Mommy, I want him back too, he said softly, his voice breaking. In that moment, a fleeting whisper of determination sparked through Anna. She wasn't alone in this. They were a family, together navigating this darkness, and no matter how hard it would be, they would fight alongside Luke. Then, like a flash of lightning, the monitors flatlined, sending a jolt of horror through Anna's heart. No. No. She screamed as bodies surged around Luke's bed. Clear. Someone shouted. A sudden jolt of light flashed across the room, and Anna's eyes darted between the chaos and Jacob. The boy was trembling, fear rippling across his small features. Mommy, I'm scared. Forcing herself to breathe, Anna knelt, holding him firmly. We can't lose hope, Jacob. Whatever happens, remember, we are his fight. She turned her gaze towards Luke, the one event horizon that mattered. Would he return to them? Would the gamble be worth it? As the doctors continued their work, a chilling sense of dread settled over Anna as she sensed that something vital might shift. Just stay with us, Luke. She pleaded, the words escaping in a rush. The agonizing weight had twisted into something even deeper, a reckoning truly beyond her. It felt like the world had stopped. She held on to Jacob tightly, their breaths synchronized, a fragile tether amid the storm. Would their hope be enough? The heart monitor beeped again, and for a split second, Anna dared to believe the fight for Luke wasn't over yet. But then, silence descended like a heavy cloak over the room, leaving Anna teetering on the edge of that uncertain abyss. What awaited them on the other side of hope? Deliberately, Anna's heart sank as a new realization surged forward. Get ready. A voice rang through the tense air, awakening every nerve. Only God knew what that meant, but fear gripped her in a cold embrace. What was coming for them, and would they ever truly understand the cost of hope? Anna felt the world around her collapse into a thick fog. The murmurs of the medical team grew distant, becoming mere echoes of urgency. She squeezed Jacob's hand tightly, feeling his small fingers tremble against her palm. Stay close to me, baby, she whispered, her voice barely audible. With every second that ticked by, the reality of Luke's condition pressed heavier against her chest. The monitor's once rhythmic beeping had morphed into an eerie lull. It was terrifying, as if time had slowed just to torment her with the cruel reality of what was happening. Then, the shouting erupted again, shaking her from her reverie. We've got a pulse. Get the meds. Hope ignited, a small flame flickering in the dark. Did you hear that, Jacob? She turned, searching his eyes. They found a pulse. He's fighting. Jacob's lips curled into a fragile smile, the fear still etched across his features, but there was something new, a spark of belief taking root. Is he coming back? He is, Anna vowed, though her certainty shook like leaves in the wind. As the chaos continued, Anna pressed close to Luke's bedside, her eyes glued to his still form. The machines surrounded him, beeping insistently, like a frantic chorus urging him to rise. She could almost sense the weight of the life he had yet to live, a future filled with laughter and love that seemed snatched away for the moment. Maria hovered nearby, her own fear reflected in her eyes, yet there was a glimmer of something, a determination baked into her features. We need to decide soon about the treatment, she murmured to Anna, her voice sharp against the backdrop of turmoil. Now. Anna glanced at Luke, her chest tightening. But he's not stable. What if we take a step wrong? Every minute matters, Maria pleaded. Luke needs this chance. The doctors believe he can pull through. Anna knew there was wisdom in Maria's words. Yet how to choose between the familiar safety of what they had always known and the wild leap into the unknown. But as she caught sight of her boy's Jacob clenching his stuffed bear, a mirror of her own fears, she understood that the decision wasn't hers to make alone anymore. "Okay," she said breathlessly. "Let's do it. We have to try." Jacob's eyes widened, and a smile broke free, illuminating his pale face. "He's gonna be okay, Mommy." She brushed tears from her cheeks and nodded, though a questioning part of her still lingered, wondering if they were making a mistake. "Yes, sweetheart. We're fighting for him. And fighting hard." Moments later, the doctors moved with a new sense of urgency, preparing the treatment that could either save Luke or throw them into deeper despair. With every movement, every whispered exchange, the room grew thick with anticipation. Anna felt the weight of her decision press against her like the hum of the machines alive and pulsing. She glanced out the small window, watching the night sky fill with stars, as if reminding her that even in the darkest hours, there was light to guide them. "Stay with me, Luke," she breathed, her heart echoing fear and love. "You're not alone. We're here." Then, as she looked at Jacob, confusion flickered in his eyes as he asked quietly, "What if he comes back but doesn't he remember us, Mommy? What if he doesn't he know me?" The thought pierced Anna to her core. What if this gamble shattered their family in ways they couldn't he foresee? The weight of hope felt unbearable. "We'll remind him, Jacob," she soothed, fighting back fresh tears. "Love finds a way. It always does." And just as the doctors began their work, the atmosphere shifted, a collective breath being held. Would Luke remember? Would their family endure? With renewed energy, Anna took a seat beside Jacob, holding his hand firmly in hers, ready to face whatever was next. This was their fight. Their chapter wasn't over yet. Suddenly, the door swung open, revealing a tall figure that made Anna's heart skip a stranger, yet the familiarity in the face, the deep-set eyes, pulled her in, raising more questions than comfort. What were they about to uncover? Was everyone's past tied together in ways they never anticipated? Anna's heart raced, a mix of relief and confusion swirling in her chest. She recognized the woman standing in the doorway even before the memories coalesced. The tall figure, cloaked in shadow and surprise, was none other than Amelia, the housekeeper who had been with them for years. Her presence felt like an echo from a different chapter of their lives, long pushed aside by the weight of family struggles. "Amelia?" Anna's voice cracked. The familiarity of her name stirred something within Anna, a realization dawning as she remained frozen, unable to comprehend this sudden intruder into their haven of chaos and fear. I heard," Amelia stammered, her voice soft but urgent. "I came as soon as I could. I had to let you know." She hesitated, glancing around the room as if the walls themselves might consume her words. "Let us know what?" Anna managed to ask, holding Jacob closer so he felt her warmth, her protection against the world that felt so suddenly out of their control. Amelia stepped closer, her eyes searching the crowded space, settling on Luke's unmoving figure. "There are things you don't know about Luke," she said, her voice trembling. "That you should know." The urgency in Amelia's tone pulled Anna in, flooding her with questions. What did she mean? Could the woman who silently scrubbed floors and folded laundry have answers about the man they all loved? Answers? What are you talking about? Anna's voice rose, a mix of hope and desperation surfacing at the prospect of understanding the depths of Luke's past. "Before I started working for you," Amelia began, her gaze unwavering, "I was with his family. They weren't what they seemed." The words fell like stones in the room, each one heavier than the last. Jacob shifted in her lap, sensing the sudden shift in atmosphere. Anna felt an icy chill of dread crawl up her spine. She had always wondered about the skeletons that lingered just outside the bright facade of their life. "What do you mean?" "There were secrets," Amelia continued, taking a step closer, lowering her voice even further. "Secrets that could change everything. Luke's life, it's tied to things you don't even know about. Things that might just give him a reason to fight harder for his life. But he's fighting already. Anna's mind raced. What could possibly be more important than this moment? The doctors were fighting for him. She was fighting for him, and Jacob was clinging to the belief that his father would emerge from this fog. Just listen, Amelia implored. It's not just about the recovery, Anna. It's the understanding of who he truly is and who he could become. Her voice wavered, swallowing her emotions as she steadied herself. You need to hear this. There may still be a chance for him. A chance for your family. Anna's heart pounded in her chest as the gravity of Amelia's words settled around her like an ominous cloud. Each beat was a reminder of the life they were fighting for, yet the reality they might be yet to uncover felt like a barrel of untold pain. What if Anna hesitated, glancing at Jacob, then back to Amelia? What if this knowledge changes everything? What if it's too much? Amelia shook her head, firm in her conviction. You have to decide, Anna. You have to choose to face it. Because it could give Luke the strength he needs. A silence enveloped them. Anna felt like she was suspended in a moment that held too many possibilities, too many paths leading away from the known. Hope and fear intertwined, blurring her vision of what lay ahead. The machines hummed in the background, steady and unyielding. What does it matter now? Anna finally managed to whisper, searching Amelia's eyes for comfort, for clarity, for anything that could guide her through the labyrinth ahead of them. Then, in a moment that seemed to stretch for eternity because, Anna, Amelia said, her voice breaking, what if you find out that everything you need to save him is hidden in the past? With those words, an eerie stillness fell, and Anna realized that their lives might never be the same again. If Luke could hear, if he could fight, if he could remember. If they could reclaim lost pieces of their lives, what truths lay waiting just beneath the surface, what revelations would emerge, and at what cost? As Anna stood grappling with the weight of Amelia's words, the air in the room grew heavy with unspoken fears and lingering hope. She felt tears prick her eyes, overwhelmed by the thought that uncovering Luke's past could somehow alter the course of their lives, could lead them back together as a family or tear them apart in ways they never imagined. Anna, Jacob whispered, his small voice a beacon amid the chaos. She turned to him, kneeling down so their eyes met. Is Luke going to be okay? His voice trembled, innocence radiating through the uncertainty. Keep holding on to hope, sweetheart, she said, her voice steady even as her heart raced. We are all fighting together. Just then, the monitors beeped, a rhythmic pulse that felt almost like a heartbeat, full of life, yet precarious. Would Luke's story be one of redemption or despair? Let us hear what Amelia has to say, Anna finally urged, her voice laced with newfound determination. It was time to find out how much the past intertwined with the present. Amelia took a deep breath. Luke's family struggled with their own shadows, things they hid from the world. They weren't just wealthy, they were broken in ways you can hardly imagine. They dealt with issues of addiction, unresolved grief, and pressures that turned love into expectations. Luke wasn't just battling against his demons, he was carrying their burdens. Anna felt a chill. What are you saying? That he was never truly happy? Happy is a fragile word, Amelia replied, her gaze firm yet compassionate. It's easy to hide in a gilded cage. But the truth can be an anchor. Luke needs to know he is not alone, he needs to fight for himself, but also for his right to happiness, his right to break free from their legacy. What can we do? Anna's heart raced with urgency. Share your story, Anna. Let him know the strength of a mother's love, the resilience in your struggle. Help him see that he can choose his path, a brighter one, unmarred by the past. Hope surged within her, a protective shield against the ugly truth. If she could show Luke love, he might rise from his darkness. I can do that, Anna said firmly. But I need to be sure he can hear me. Trust your bond, Amelia urged. And remember, his fight is not just against the addiction, you must prepare for everything that might come when he wakes. If he has unresolved feelings about his family's past, it may surface unexpectedly. As thoughts raced in Anna's mind, hope mingled with apprehension. Jacob grabbed her hand tightly. "I want him back, Mommy." Anna nodded fiercely, appreciating the bond that had formed between her brave son and Luke. It was time for an all-out fight. The family they had dreamed of building together could still be theirs. Suddenly, as if sensing the momentum of their gathering hope, Luke's heart monitor stabilized, beeping steadily but ever so softly. Together they turned their focus back to him, waiting for the miracle of his awakening. "Luke," Anna called softly, her voice a thread of warmth against the backdrop of sterile buzz. "We are here. We love you, please come back to us. We need you." In that moment, she felt the world stop as Luke's fingers twitched ever so slightly. A glimmer of recognition flickered behind his closed eyelids, a hint of a smile forming. It was as if he was clinging to the sound of her voice, a tether anchoring him to the realm of the living. "Mama," he murmured, the word emerging like a whisper from deep within. "That's it, baby. We're here," she urged, tears streaming down her face, a mix of hope and relief flooding her heart. Jacob pressed closer, joy etched across his small face. "Luke. You need to get better so we can have grand adventures. Just like astronauts." Luke's eyes fluttered open, revealing a sleepy gaze searching for familiarity. "Jake." His voice was weak yet vibrant, searching as if trying to remember. "Yes. I'm right here." Jacob beamed, and at that moment, a shift occurred. Luke's gaze found Anna, and his eyes filled with a mixture of confusion and relief. "Mom." "I'm here, love," she replied, joy bursting inside her chest. She could feel the changes begin minute but profound. As the doctors entered the room, moving briskly but with purpose, Anna realized the true battle had just begun. They weren't merely fighting for Luke's body to recover, they were fighting for his spirit, for his understanding, and for the chance to rebuild their family. Stronger than before, the room thrummed with renewed hope as they rallied together, a blend of love, determination, and shared strength. This wasn't just about Luke anymore, it was about all of them: Anna, Jacob, Luke, creating a tapestry woven from the threads of their struggles, fears, and triumphs. "Let us do this together," Anna whispered, her heart open wide as she felt the universe shift. The journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but they were embarking as one. A family forged through love, standing strong against any storm that might come. As the doctor began to speak, Anna clung to the belief that love could mend the broken pieces of their lives. And in that tapestry of hope, the possibilities now unfolded before them like a blossoming flower, radiant and unapologetically alive. The world might keep spinning with its uncertainties, but Anna knew one thing: together, they would weather any storm. Now more than ever, it was critical to keep spreading their story and letting the world know that hope was worth fighting for. If you're moved by this incredible tale, subscribe immediately to our channel so you won't miss out on more life-changing stories. Leave a like now to help us grow and keep sharing these inspiring moments. We want to hear your thoughts too. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. And remember, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support, and you need to be part of our journey. Don't wait not even one more second to share.